Wait. Don't walk away, just 5 minutes. Marry me, please. If that sentence alone doesn't make your heart stop for a second, then stay with me, because by the end of this story, it will. And before we begin, if stories that make you feel something real matter to you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe, you won't want to miss what's coming next. The rain had just started when Ethan pulled his jacket tighter around his daughter, Lily. She was asleep in his arms, her small fingers curled into his shirt as if letting go meant losing the whole world. Maybe it did. For her, Ethan was the whole world. He stood outside the registry office, not because he wanted to be there, but because life had a way of pushing him into places he never planned to go. Closed, he muttered under his breath, staring at the sign. Just his luck. He turned to leave, adjusting Lily gently, when suddenly the glass doors slammed open behind him. Hey, you, wait. Ethan froze. He turned slowly, confused, and that's when he saw her. Sharp suit, perfect posture, eyes colder than the rain. The kind of woman who didn't ask twice. I need you, she said, walking straight toward him as if he already belonged in her plan. Ethan blinked. I think you've got the wrong. 5 minutes, she cut him off. That's all I need. Marry me. Silence. Even the rain seemed to pause. I'm sorry, what? Ethan let out a dry laugh, certain this had to be some kind of mistake, or maybe a cruel joke. Lady, I've had a long day. I'm not in the mood. I'll pay you. That made him stop, not because he was tempted, but because of how serious she was. I'm not joking, she said. I need a legal marriage. Right now. You look decent, responsible. You're carrying a child. That helps. Helps what? He snapped, irritation rising. You think I'm some kind of prop? Her expression didn't change, but something flickered behind her eyes. Urgency, desperation, something real. I don't have time to explain everything. But if I don't get married today, I lose everything. Ethan shook his head. Then find someone else. I already tried. Her voice tightened, just barely. You're the last option. He shifted Lily in his arms, uncomfortable, not just with the situation, but with the strange pull in her voice. Like she wasn't used to asking for help, and hated every second of it. Look, he said, softer now. I don't even know your name. Aria. Okay, Aria, he sighed. I'm not marrying a stranger in the rain outside a government office. She stepped closer. Then don't do it for me. He frowned. Do it for her. Her eyes moved to Lily. And for the first time, her voice changed. It wasn't cold anymore. She deserves stability, Aria said quietly. A home, security. You look like someone who's struggling to give her that alone. That hit harder than Ethan expected. You don't know anything about me, he said, but his voice lacked its earlier strength. No, she admitted, but I know what it looks like when someone's trying to hold everything together, and failing. Silence again. The rain grew heavier. Ethan looked down at Lily. His chest tightened. I'm not failing, he whispered. Aria didn't argue. Instead, she said something unexpected. Then prove it. That should have made him walk away. It should have. But something about the moment, the exhaustion, the fear of what tomorrow might look like, the quiet truth in her words, kept his feet rooted to the ground. What's the catch? He asked. No catch. Just a contract marriage. 1 year. I get what I need. You get financial support. Enough to give your daughter a real chance. And after a year, we go our separate ways. Simple. Too simple. Ethan hesitated. His instinct screamed no, but his reality whispered something else. Hospital bills, unpaid rent, a daughter who deserved more than just survival. 5 minutes, you said. Aria nodded, and just like that, everything changed. Inside the registry office, the air felt different. Warmer. Still, Ethan stood beside Aria, barely processing what was happening as the official prepared the paperwork. Last chance to walk away, Aria said quietly, not looking at him. Funny, Ethan replied, I was about to say the same to you. For the first time, just barely, her lips curved. Not a smile, but close. Lily stirred in his arms. And somehow, that small movement grounded him. This wasn't just about him anymore. All right, he said, let's do this. 5 minutes later, they were married. No music, no celebration, just signatures on paper, and two strangers tied together by something neither of them fully understood. But life doesn't care about perfect beginnings. Only what comes after. The first few weeks were strange. Aria lived in a world Ethan had never even imagined. Luxury apartments, business meetings that stretched past midnight, People who spoke in numbers instead of emotions. She was a CEO, young, powerful, and completely alone at the top. Ethan, on the other hand, brought something unfamiliar into her world. Noise, warmth, life. Lily. At first, they stayed out of each other's way. Aria kept things professional, distant. Ethan kept things simple, focused on his daughter. But Lily didn't understand distance. She didn't care about contracts or conditions. To her, Aria was just there. And slowly, she started reaching out. A small hand tugging at Aria's sleeve. A sleepy smile when Aria walked into the room. And one night, everything shifted. Lily had a fever. A bad one. Ethan panicked. He had been through this before, but it never got easier. And for the first time since their marriage, Aria saw him break. I can't lose her, he whispered, his voice trembling in a way she had never heard before. She's all I have. Something in Aria cracked. Without thinking, she stepped forward. You won't, she said firmly. We won't let that happen. It was the first time she said it. And the first time she meant it. That night, she stayed. Not because of the contract, but because she wanted to. Hours passed. The fever slowly came down. And somewhere between fear and relief, a bond began to form. Not forced, not planned, but real. Days turned into months. The lines between fake and real began to blur. Aria started coming home earlier. Ethan started smiling more. Lily started calling Aria something new. Mom. It happened by accident. A sleepy whisper. A small voice. But it hit like a storm. Aria froze. Ethan looked at her, unsure what to say. And for a moment, neither of them spoke. Then Aria did something no one expected. She didn't correct Lily. Instead, she gently brushed her hair aside and said, I'm here. That was the moment everything changed. Because sometimes, love doesn't arrive with fireworks. Sometimes, it grows quietly. Until one day, you realize you can't live without it. But not all stories move forward without breaking first. Because the truth has a way of catching up. The contract, the deal, the ticking clock of 1 year. When Ethan found out why Aria had really needed the marriage, it shattered everything. It wasn't just business. It was inheritance, power, a condition set by a family that had never loved her, only controlled her. You used me, Ethan said, his voice heavy with something deeper than anger. I told you the truth, Aria replied, but her voice wasn't as steady as before. Not all of it. Silence filled the room. Lily watched from the doorway, confused, hurt. Was any of it real? Ethan asked. That question, that one question, destroyed her. Because for the first time in her life, Aria didn't have an answer she could control. I don't know when it became real, she admitted, her voice breaking. But it did. Ethan looked at her, and for a moment, he wanted to believe her. But fear is louder than hope. And sometimes, people walk away. Not because they don't care, but because they care too much to risk being hurt again. So he left, taking Lily with him, and Aria was alone again, the way she had always been. Except this time, it hurt more, because now she knew what she had lost. Days passed, then weeks. The 1 year deadline came closer. And Aria faced the one thing she had always avoided. A life without control, without certainty, without them. So she did something she had never done before. She ran, not away from her problems, but toward the people she loved. Because some things are worth risking everything for. When she finally found Ethan, standing there, tired, guarded, holding Lily close, she didn't give a speech, didn't offer a deal, didn't make a plan. She just said, "Marry me again." Ethan blinked. What? This time, for real. No contracts, no conditions, no 5-minute deadlines, just truth. I don't need the company, she said. I don't need the power. I don't need anything, except you. Silence. Lily looked between them, hope shining in her small eyes. And Ethan finally understood. Love isn't about perfect beginnings. It's about choosing someone, again and again, even after everything falls apart. You're late, he said softly. Aria's breath caught, but I'm still here. And this time, when they walked into that registry office, it wasn't rushed, it wasn't forced, it wasn't 5 minutes, it was forever. And if this story touched your heart even a little, don't forget to like the video and subscribe. Because sometimes, the most unexpected stories are the ones we need the most.